One of the best things about staying in a hotel is not having to do any chores. Someone else comes up, they make your bed, they replace the towels, they clean up the entire place, and it's like magic, almost kind of like fairies. Well, what if you could get that experience in your home, or more specifically, in your apartment communities? Well, that is exactly what today's guest is doing for other apartment owners. Today, we speak with Omer Agiv, who is the CEO and co founder of Faireez, a company that provides hotel style housekeeping services for residential multifamily apartments. Now, this is a very interesting concept that can have a lot of great potential for apartment owners and property managers to help you and your community stand out with residents and prospects. If you want to learn more about this unique opportunity, check out today's show right here on Multifamily Insights. When you think you found a great deal, asking the right questions could be the difference in finding a stud or a dud. Listen, we've put together a new guide to help you out. It's called 7 Questions You Must Ask Before Investing in Apartments. Now, in this guide, you're going to learn how to uncover red flags, quickly identify underwriting risk, vet sponsors and team members, and confirm key assumptions. Now, this is a guide that's going to help you be a better investor, whether you're an active investor or you're a passive investor looking to partner with other operators. Asking better questions is the key to identifying great opportunities. So download this free guide. Go to our website, casmoncapital.com/7 questions. That's the number 7 questions. And you can access this free guide today. To make it easy on you, though, we've put a link in our show notes. So you go to the show notes, you can click that link and access the guide right now. This guide's going to help you make better investment choices, asking the right questions to build your portfolio. So be sure to download it today. Omer Agiv is the CEO and co-founder of Faireez, a New York-based startup founded in 2023 that provides AI-powered hotel-style housekeeping services for multifamily residential buildings. Now, Faireez offers a subscription-based model with personalized cleaning services, leveraging advanced technologies such as AI for dynamic pricing, cleaning services, quality assurance, and tailored plans. Let's welcome to the show, Omer Agiv.
Hi, John. How is it going? Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Omer, I went over your bio at a high level. I'm doing great, by the way. You asked how's it going? I'm doing great. It's great to have you on the show today, all the way out there in Tel Aviv. I know you're split your time between New York and Tel Aviv. But I went over your bio at a very, very high level, and we'll certainly talk about Faireez. But give us, our listeners, a little bit more context on who you are. Take 2 minutes and fill in some of those gaps.
Great. So I'm an entrepreneur, a high-tech entrepreneur. I've been all my life. I founded 7 startups. I'm 43. The last company I sold to Anheuser-Busch. It was a big data analytics company in the beer business. We actually measured real-time consumption of beer, and we sold kind of a software for breweries to better understand the consumption in real time and to do dynamic pricing and to understand market shares. So it's very interesting analytical business for an old school industry. After me and my partners, we sold the business. I was leading an innovation division for Anheuser-Busch. So I got a chance to see a lot of, I would say, implementation of a high-tech solution to an old school industry or clients. Okay. And we implemented our software in millions of SMBs and bars and restaurants all over the world. So I really love the high-tech to low-tech, I would say, arena. I had a few other startups in other industries that are very old school, like tobacco, measurement of tobacco smoking and things like that. But Faireez is the next big thing. After we sold the company, me and my partners, we said, okay, what's next? We really want to revolutionize and digitize another industry, something that we all need, something that we all wish we had, And we said, okay, what about housekeeping? It's like something that we all do, we all hate doing. It's a waste of time. It didn't change for hundreds of years, so let's rock. Let's put high tech into this low tech thing, right? So that's how Faireez was born.
Yeah, I love it, man. A lot of background in the startup world. You mentioned having 7 startups and selling those. Last one being to Anheuser-Busch. My background's in marketing and advertising, and I worked for their competitors up at Miller Coors. So very interesting, that beer industry and how things operate. But you did that, and then you realized, okay, once you sold, what else can we revolutionize? What else can we get into? And you looked into the real estate sector, specifically when it comes to house cleaning and housekeeping, and to say, all right, how can we do something here? And that led to what you have today in Faireez. Before we talk more about that, I want to go back though, right? Like, did you have an engineering background? Like, talking about what got you into the startup world in the first place.
I think it's a personality issue. I'm not a tech guy. I'm an engineer in profession, but since I was a kid, I like to invent stuff and do the 0 to 1 thing. I love problems and to find a creative, elegant solution to a problem. Um, so I think, and I'm also a very old school person. I'm not a, I don't like social media, so I don't have Facebook account, so I really like the real simple life, and like beer, like smoking, like
All the vices.
living, like all the, like wearing clothes. There are many things that are offline and can be digitized. And 20 years ago, okay, so a lot of things had to be there was a lot of things that had to be digitized online, but now the offline world is being digitized also. And housekeeping is just another domain that was still offline. And it was really, really simple, labor intensive, manual. You had to call someone, you had to, it's like, it's so broken. This whole industry of housekeeping or cleaning or home chores assistance or domestic care, it's all not organized, it's chaotic. And I love this. I think this is where things can really flourish. And if you think about it, when we buy a house or when we rent, we get 4 walls. That's it. And then we need to fill it with furniture, and this is our home where we're gonna spend most of our life, most of the time, most of the uh the best moments would be in our home, most probably, let's say. It's our shelter. Okay. And what else besides 4 walls can we give as property managers or as real estate uh entrepreneurs, besides for what can we give else that is more about the lifestyle, right? This is, I think, the question. Are we just selling the experience of living in a place, 4 walls, or do you provide also a lifestyle? Live like a king or queen. Live without home chores. Live without investing 1.5 hours a day organizing your place like it used to be 500 years ago. This is the magic. This is what really makes me tick. this kind of vision.
What was the triggering point for you to realize this is what you wanted to revolutionize next?
There were a few other things me and my partners wanted to do, but I think housekeeping. I tell you a story. Like, I remember a few years ago, before we started the business, we had our other startup, and we were working like 14, 15 hours a day, and we did really big deals and all over the world and so on, and we traveled a lot and so. But then we found ourselves at 11 at night, coming back home and doing dishes. It doesn't make any sense, you know. It's like, how come in the 21st century you still need to do it yourself? And robotics is not there yet. It's gonna take 10 years, okay, or a few years until it's gonna be the humanoid will be fully autonomous. And it's not there. So I think it's a great vision, to invest your time, where it really, on things that really matter, to be with your kid, to be with your wife, your girlfriend, and to have fun. Life is too short to do dishes and to fold laundry.
Yeah, we're still a ways away from having Rosie from the Jetsons come do our laundry and all of our chores from us, right? But it sounds like you've got at least the next best thing when it comes to a solution. So, as you mentioned, this is manual labor, right? We're talking about some of the house chores, house cleaning, housekeeping type items. When we think about leveraging technology, I think that might feel like a jump for some people. Like, how can I leverage technology to help with some of the housekeeping items? And then when you talk about in the multifamily sector, as opposed to just someone doing it in their home, that feels like a bit of a stretch. So connect the dots for us. Tell us more about Faireez and how it works.
So first of all, it, I think a good solution or a good company or starts with with a very deep problem. So what's the problem, right? The problem is for three parties, there is a problem, three entities. One is for the resident. The resident doesn't like to do home chores. Okay. It is like human fact. We all do it. We all hate doing it, but we have to do it. So there's no, if you now take 100 people in whatever their age is, 25, 45, whatever, and you will ask them, do you love to do all your home chores? Nobody will say yes. At least one thing they hate, For some people, it's doing the dishes. For some people, it's making the bed. Or sometimes it's like organizing your kid's room, whatever. So this is one. Second is that the only thing that the market can provide today is a deep clean session. Nobody's going to come over for 20 minutes assistance every day. Okay, so the only thing you can really buy is 3-4 hours visit. Someone need to take their car, take a subway, and come to your place. Is an on-demand visit only for you. Spend there 3-4 hours and go to the next visit or come back to their own home. So it's like an on-demand business, but it's not really on-demand. It's recurring. We need it every day. We don't need a deep clean every 2 weeks, right? So the whole supply chain is broken. So for the resident, there's not the product they need doesn't really exist. They need daily cleaning, and they only can get once in 2 weeks deep clean. For the property managers, they want to innovate. They want to bring lifestyle. They want to bring more experiences, new amenities. People desire this. It's all about, like I said at the beginning, it's all about how do I allow my residents to live better life, right? So we can make a gym there. We can maybe build a pool, but at the end, these are all gimmicks. It's not really, I can get many gyms. At the end, I need someone to come over and help me every day and save me 1 hour. Who's doing that today? Nobody. So if I'm in a property manager, if I'm a real estate company, I need this. I need to bring it's almost like, for me, it's like electricity. It's commodity. It's a utility, like running water. I need someone to clean my place every day and at an affordable price. So for the property managers, it's the community that is doing this job. It's a very hard job. It's very hard for them to chase the next job. Nobody's is paying them today for commute. Sometimes they're not even insured. So we are taking it very seriously. We are elevating this whole community of tens of thousands of people to be able to work in Faireez with a career path, with insurance, with respect, with tips, with ratings, with tech, supported by tech. So there are three entities we're assisting: the property managers, the resident, and the cleaners or cleaning partners, because we're not hiring ourselves. It's not a gig economy play. We're partnering with a cleaning partner in every city, professional cleaning companies, and we actually provide them big chunks of work and we allocate a ferry for a single building. That's basically how it works.
Yeah, you talked about the three kind of entities that are being impacted. The resident who doesn't want to, do all this daily chore work at their property or their apartment. You're talking about the property manager. In this case, could be the owner as well, right? But the person who's in charge of make sure that property is doing well, they're trying to create a resident experience, a lifestyle, something to make people want to live there and have a great experience. And then the third is the cleaning crew themselves, right? So they're trying to drive around, they're trying to find that next job. It's tough on any business, right? Trying to keep the pipeline of new jobs going, but also driving all around the city, trying to do these jobs. And you don't want to come out for something that's small. You want to come out for a deep cleaning job that's 3 to 4 hours. And most people aren't going to get that even on a weekly basis, yet alone a daily basis. So trying to find a solution there. And you talked about really working together in a partnership where it's like a gig economy. Give us a little bit more context there. You mentioned that you partner with kind of existing cleaning companies in certain markets and you're kind of, giving them an apartment, or maybe just clarify a little bit more about what that looks like.
Yeah. So first of all, look, there were a few companies tried to do the Uber of housekeeping in the past 12 years.
I was going to say that,
Many,
but I didn't want to just throw it out there, but that's what I was getting at. Yes.
the first thing we did is we talked with few of the founders of these companies, is try to learn from other people's experience, and what we found was intriguing. The number one reason for failure of these companies was the use of gig economy on demand for a recurring problem. When they try to hire part-timers, let's say part-time people that are not professional cleaners, and to connect supply and demand in a polygon, in a certain geography, makes sense. It's like, it's the Uber way of doing business, right? This is the gig economy in a geolocation. What happened is that people did a poor job because it was a one-timer, okay? And it wasn't the same face every time coming to your place, so it wasn't personal. So the service providers didn't do a good enough job. So the flywheel got hurt. It wasn't good enough, and then it was a race to the bottom in terms of price. So it attracted the wrong clients. So that's not the way to go. We said, okay, we cannot do the same mistake again. Let's do it exactly 180 degrees, the opposite. We are charging by the chore, not by the hour. We're assigning a single ferry for a single building, so we can do mini nugget size housekeeping, not just one big visit. We're paying a lot, almost 30 to 40% more than market average to the cleaners. So they're stable, and you get the same face every time. So there's a trust issue. There's a trust, not an issue, I'm sorry. There's a trust element that all your neighbors get the same service provider, so they're not going to steal any Rolex. Okay, they really need this job, and it's a community thing. Everybody's happy. There's a pink cart in the building. You see, people get interaction, okay, with it, with the platform, I would say, with the person. So it's not a gig economy. You cannot put an on-demand solution to a recurring problem. We do chores every day. So why to use an on-demand system, right? So I think that's the main differentiation, and we're the best in the market in terms of reply time. We are always in the property, so you can call us and we are at your doorstep in 2 minutes. Okay, so which means that we can also do 15 minutes, 20 minutes visits, which means that you can live like a king or a queen because you need this many visits to organize your living room every day, not just deep clean every month. So it's a different product, I would say. It's a totally different lifestyle, different product. Come back from home, from work, things are organized, tidy, no dishes, laundry folded, and it took us 20 minutes a day. And it's affordable. That's also, you don't need to spend $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Talk to us more about the model. Who pays for this, right? Is this paid by the property owner, property management, or is this paid for by the actual residents?
Well, the property managers, they hire us as a platform, and we deploy for full portfolio. We don't do 1-2 buildings. We usually go to full portfolio play. We start with a few buildings, but usually we end up having the full portfolio deployed with Faireez housekeeping amenity. It doesn't really cost them, maybe just a setup fee, but they don't pay for it. Who pays for it as a subscription is the resident. The resident select the chores want to be done and their frequency, and we rock and roll. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, this is so for our multifamily investors, right? If you think about, for us, this there's a service and a chore component of it, but then there's the business, right? There's the money, there's the numbers, and I want to talk about that, not necessarily deep on your side, but just as investors, when we're talking about commercial multifamily properties, we know that they're valued based on the NOI, the net operating income. So we're always looking for strategies to increase the income we're bringing in. A lot of times that's through rent. Sometimes it's through those other income line items. And what I'm hearing you describe reminds me of like valet trash service, which was really popular about, 6, 7, 8 years ago when it kind of first came on the scene. And it was one of those things where residents kind of had to take it, and it was a $15 charge. And you kind of split that with the vendor. But it was a nice way to add that touch, that lifestyle experience where now they're not having to haul that garbage down, especially if you live on like the second or third floor. You don't have to haul that down and go to the dumpster bin. You just sit outside your door and someone takes it. What you're talking about is like a kind of an evolution of that approach, where it's like now it's not just taking the trash. We're actually going to come into your unit and clean it on your behalf, right? And those residents get to select the level of service that they want. But as investors, it's another way to differentiate our community. It's another way to create value and to drive revenue on these properties. So it could be a really nice win-win-win solution for all parties involved. Let me ask you this. Who is this right for and who is this not right for? Because obviously there are going to be some communities or some, residents or property managers that are not a fit and some that absolutely are an ideal component or an ideal fit, I should say.
Yeah. So first of all, you're spot on. I think what we bring to the table is enhanced lifestyle for the resident, which is it almost supports the rent that you want to charge. Okay, you need to give something as a differentiator in the market to be able to raise prices. You cannot just raise prices because of inflation. You need to have a good excuse. We all need as sellers, as businesses. So I think it's a very good. We see that in the data. It's residents choose buildings with housekeeping amenity by Faireez more than the building next door because it's better life. So they're willing to pay more for the rent. Okay, so it's a justification for raising prices. And so sorry, just to come back about your question, can you repeat that? Sorry, I
Yeah, who is this
apologize.
right for? So obviously there's a
So
target
yeah,
market as far as the types of properties, the types of residents. So who's the
yeah,
ideal target?
yeah. So first of all, buildings that are small, it's not so good for them. Like 50 or 100 residents, it's too small. We need 100 and up in a geography. It doesn't necessarily need to be high rise, but the community need to be dense in a way that we can operationally allocate a ferry with a cart to go between the units and to clean. It cannot be buildings too far away and things like that. Second is mostly class A, I would say. People that are busy, mid-high level of income. Um, they they desire, they desire such a service. Families, they really, really need us. We see in the data that when you have a child, the demand, it goes to the sky because the level of complexity of running a household when you have a child is much more complex than being 27 years old, freelancer, living by yourself. Um, so I would say buildings that have some kind of family orientation, even if it's just 20-30% of the profiles, the rest can be studio and one bedroom, class A, and dense, more than 100 units. Yeah.
No, right. And I appreciate that. So class A, 100 plus units, and in particular, those units that have family members or small children, those are going to be ideal people who
Right.
want to take on these kind of services. Great stuff there. I think it's fascinating to think about just technology and how things evolve. And you mentioned the AI component, or at least I mentioned that, I think, in your bio. Where does AI and kind of technology come into play? Like I get the service component of it, but where does the AI start to play a role here?
So there, it's a first of all, it's a complex problem, not just from the UI UX part of it, but also at the back end. How do you take 150 customers in a geography and you cluster the demand in an optimal way? For example, this is not necessarily AI, but there's a lot of machine learning into this and routing and okay. Another thing is, by the way, the pricing. We need to make it affordable. right? We cannot just make people pay double the market average. So how do you price in New Jersey the dishes chore for a 2-bedroom versus in Manhattan? It's a complex problem to solve, and we have a system to do it frequently. We update the pricing, and we're trying to do it as cost effective as possible for the residents. Okay, it's not really surge pricing, but it's there are different price per chore based on supply and demand. And the AI component, I would say, today people don't necessarily know what they want. Okay, so for many people, they just say, okay, I think I need someone to help me at home. I need to reset my home. But what do I really need? They have no clue. So we're developing things like the ability to take a video of your home of 10 seconds, and the system will tell you what do you need, what plan do you need, how much it will cost, to give a grade of level of cleaning or level of freshness of your home. We all want to measure ourselves, right? We like the ability to have a rank, a rate for things, a grade. So this also relates to AI. So these are the kind of things where we're doing in our labs, and we have a lot of A/B testing going on in different neighborhoods. We're live in Miami, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, LA is going to go live soon. So we're spreading very fast. So it's very cool. It's very interesting.
No, I love it, man. Sounds great. And looking forward to kind of watching this continue to roll out and learning more and seeing if this could be a fit. And if you want to learn more for your own communities, you can check out the website and go to faireez.com. That's FAIREEZ.com. Right now, we're going to transition and go to our round of insights. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to grow as a multifamily investor, you have to spend more time with other multifamily investors. And an easy way to do that is to join our apartment investing mastermind group today. Just go to casmoncapital.com and click on the mastermind button. Now, as a part of this group, you'll get access to expert trainings, group coaching calls, industry news and updates, as well as all of our webinars and workshops, including our 3-hour workshop on raising capital. Again, if you want to be around other multifamily investors that can help you scale your portfolio today and grow your network, make sure you're a part of the Apartment Investing Mastermind. Just go to casmoncapital.com and click on the Mastermind button today. All right, Omer, give me a failure or an apparent failure that set you up for later success.
At the beginning of Faireez and a few other startups, it was very, very hard to raise money. People didn't believe. So we had to go through tens of investors to persuade them that it's a necessity. So I think just keep on believing on whatever you do, even if people tell you that it's not true, do it anyway. I think that's the main thing that I failed, I would say, but I didn't give up. So I overcame.
Give us a digital or mobile resource that you would recommend for our listeners.
I think everything regarding AI agents, it's the next big thing for an operational company. We need to embed that. We need to embed that in everything we do. Otherwise, we're going to become labor intensive, and it's getting really, really good. It's becoming really good. So I'm not going to give you a name, but any AI agent, there are many, embed.
Love it. All right, give us the book you've recommended or gifted the most in the last year.
I love Richard Branson from Virgin. I think he's a dreamer. He's a big dreamer, and he also he's doing it with a smile. So I think read his book. He has a few books, but it's all in the same type of philosophy of dream big.
All right, love it. Give us a daily habit that helps you stay focused on your goals.
I think start your day with a smile. Don't forget the good things you've done yesterday. And cold plunges, ice bath. It's something I like. Reminds you that you can overcome anything you need.
All right. Give us your number one insight for succeeding as an entrepreneur.
Optimism. The optimism is the thing that will always bring you up from the floor, even if you fell. It's like your magic power. It's like your superpower. And it is nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. Nothing to. It's about the. If you lost ambition, if you lost the only thing that can make you come up and succeed is believe that things will be okay. It's the belief and it's optimism. Yeah.
All right, last question. We're going to go in a different direction here. You're out in Tel Aviv. Give us your favorite place to grab a bite to eat.
Wow. It's on the marina in Tel Aviv. It's on the port. There's a great place there for a good pint, a good company, and some snacks. And I love it. I go there with my family every time. So, see you soon.
All right, sounds like a great option. Do you remember the name of it by any chance?
It's on the port. There are few, but it's on the new port of Tel Aviv.
Got it. Okay. All right. I love it, man. Well, you give us a lot of great insights. I remember, I think one of the things that stood out to me was just listening to your journey, trying to find challenges in industries that need to be disrupted, going from the companies you built in the beer industry and using AI data to impact that. But then also what you're seeing here in not so much just multifamily, but specifically in home cleaning services, and combining that in the multifamily sector to say, hey, we can bring this hotel style cleaning services to the multifamily landscape. And I love what you're building there. And I'm excited to continue to watch what that grows into and how that gets adopted by both property owners, property managers, and residents. Again, if you want to learn more, you can check out the website and go to faireez.com. That's FAIREEZ.com. Omer, I want to thank you again for being a great guest and coming on Multifamily Insights. We look forward to staying in touch with you, and I hope you have a great day.